Smoke rises over the riverbanks of the Dnipropetrovsk region. A ferry crossing, gone in an instant. Russian defense sources claim it was not enemy artillery, not a missile strike, but Ukrainian soldiers themselves who destroyed it. According to Moscow's account, troops from Ukraine's 67th Brigade allegedly blew up the crossing to avoid being sent into combat. Kyiv has not confirmed the claim. There has been no official acknowledgement from Ukrainian authorities. But inside Russia's narrative of the war, this moment is framed as something larger than a single explosion. It is portrayed as a signal. As Russian offensives grind forward across multiple sectors, Moscow describes mounting pressure on Ukrainian defenses. Pressure not only on territory, but on morale. Regions once considered secure are now drawn into the orbit of frontline tension. Areas not annexed by Russia are increasingly pulled into strategic focus as fighting shifts and lines blur. And in Moscow, the political rhetoric grows sharper. Andrei Kartapolov, chairman of the Defense Committee in the State Duma, delivered a blunt message. Ukraine, he says, can only win by becoming part of the Russian Federation. It was a direct response to optimism voiced by Alexander Stubb, who maintains Ukraine will ultimately prevail. Kartapolov dismissed that optimism as political performance, suggesting European leaders understand the battlefield realities, even if their public words project confidence. On the ground, every destroyed bridge, every blown crossing, every contested kilometer feeds into competing narratives of momentum. For Moscow, the message is clear. Advances are expanding, pressure is building, and the psychological dimension of war is as decisive as the territorial one. For Kyiv, silence, at least for now, on this specific claim. In modern war, smoke does more than obscure the battlefield. It shapes the story. And in this conflict, the story itself is a front line. Interestingly, this is not the first time such a story has emerged from the non-annexed Dnipropetrovsk region. Earlier, a group of Ukrainian soldiers is seen crossing the Dnipro River, not to advance, but to surrender. The footage, released by Russia's defense ministry, shows the soldiers laying down their weapons as fighting continues nearby. Russian officials say scenes like these are becoming increasingly common. With each passing day, they claim, more Ukrainian troops are choosing surrender over continued combat. The Dnipro River, once a firm dividing line, has become the backdrop to some of the war's most symbolic moments. Russian forces say the pressure along the front has intensified, leaving Ukrainian units isolated, exhausted, and increasingly unable to hold their positions. Moscow argues this is not an isolated incident, but part of a broader shift on the battlefield. That message was reinforced in Moscow on December 29th. President Putin convened a meeting with Russia's top defense and security officials. The tone was firm. Addressing the military leadership, Putin claimed Ukrainian forces were retreating along the entire front line. He said Russian troops were maintaining the initiative and expanding control in key areas. According to Putin, the battlefield momentum is now decisively shifting. He credited what he described as the professionalism and resilience of Russian forces, saying their actions were forcing Ukrainian units to pull back under sustained pressure. The Russian leader also pointed to what he called mounting losses on the Ukrainian side, arguing that Kyiv's ability to sustain large-scale operations was weakening. Ukraine has not commented directly on the surrender footage or Putin's remarks, but as the war grinds on, images like these are gaining attention, not just for what they show, but for what they suggest. A conflict now deep into its third year with no clear end in sight. A battlefield where exhaustion is as decisive as firepower. and a war where increasingly the images of surrender are becoming part of the daily narrative. As fighting continues, both sides insist momentum is on their side. But on the banks of the Dnipro, the reality of war is captured in a single moment, soldiers stepping out of the fight as the conflict presses on.